Your business needs help. 56.1 million employees are employed by small businesses in the United States, and 99% of all U.S. establishments are small businesses under 250 employees. That means that your business should be listening to the only podcast dedicated to small business success. That's Growth Success Radio, growthsuccessradio.com. Welcome to this week's episode of Growth Success Radio. All right, welcome to Growth Success Radio, episode number 47. Almost at 50, Eugene. Almost a big 5-0. This show is sponsored by Traeger Insurance, Networking Golf, and Scott Gombar Digital Marketing Agency. We're live every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern and 8 a.m. Pacific. We have to make that note today because our guest is Pacific time. And if you want to listen to and or watch past shows, you can go to growthsuccessradio.com. You can also listen on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and a whole bunch of other places. Mm-hmm. And I do want to remind everybody, because it is November now, and this is our first November show. November also means Movember. And Eugene and I are both on a team raising money for men's health issues such as prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and mental health. So I will include the link to our page so you can go and donate. I'll actually put it on the front page of Growth Success Radio. So please help out. October was breast cancer awareness. November is about men's health. Let's make it count. Okay. We are going to be talking to Dana Earhart. We just got that clarified a few minutes ago. Dana Earhart, who is fourth generation from Amelia Earhart. All right. We're not going to talk about that though. No. Eugene, tell us about Traeger Insurance.
So Traeger Insurance, I hear an echo. Is that me?
I don't hear anything.
All right.
It's in your head.
Let me try this again. Traeger Insurance, we are an independent insurance agency based out of Meriden, Connecticut. And what we do is pretty simple. We speak insurance so you don't have to. So what that means is we take care of all our clients' insurance needs. That includes giving them the best possible policies for the best possible price so they don't have to do anything. They just hire us. We'll do the shopping for them. We'll make sure they have the proper coverages and make sure it's for a price they could afford. My role within the agency is president of commercial lines, so I speak insurance for my business clients.
Awesome. And as mentioned, I am the owner of a digital marketing agency. So what we do is we use things like Google and Facebook and Twitter and Google AdWords and Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads and all of that fun stuff on the internet. And we drive revenue to your business and help your business grow and expand and become a recognizable brand around your local town, the country, the world, whatever you want. And this is the part of the show where we do a couple of updates. Eugene?
Yeah, so just a high-level 30,000-foot update. There's a lot of money being dumped into insurance technology startups. So one big one that's out there is Indio. They just got $2 million, and what they're doing is something that I'm excited about. Is they're making it easier for us brokers to shop the commercial insurance to multiple carriers. Because right now, for us to get quotes from multiple carriers, we have to go into each carrier's website and quote it. So what they're doing is they're trying to streamline it, get multiple carriers on board, so you can get a quote right away from 5-6 carriers. So that saves a whole bunch of time. So I'm excited about that.
So what you're saying, Eugene, is you want to do less work?
No, I want to do the same work but quicker, so I can do more work and more business.
Mm-hmm. Nothing as earth-shattering as Vine shutting down last week, but Instagram is going to soon have buy now options on their gram. Hey, Jeff Arnell just joined us. Hey, Jeff, how are you? So look for that soon. I would imagine they're trying to launch before Christmas, so probably before Black Friday. So we'll see how that goes. So look for buy now options in Instagram. Already exists on Pinterest. There's already shopping pages. A lot of people didn't notice shopping pages on Facebook. People are discovering that by accident.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think you've ever talked about what the Facebook change they did, especially on the app, where now they put the message button on the top left, and where the message button was is now a marketplace button. At least for me on the iPhone, it's that way.
Yeah, that's because
so they have a whole new marketplace now that they're really trying to push.
Yes, they do, but it's usually used iPhones. I don't know. All right, Eugene.
All right, so we are very excited to talk to Dana Earhart, not because she's fourth generation from Amelia, but because what she does is she helps business owners grow their revenue by streamlining processes, structure, and their strategy. So Dana, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself and your business?
Awesome. Well, thank you, and thank you for having me on the show today. I ultimately opened my business about 3.5 years ago. I've been working it full-time 2.5 years now, after spending 20-some years in corporate consulting, where I learned a lot. I just really felt it was time, A, to go on my own, but B, to really help the small business owner. My passion is personal growth and development. One of my fundamental foundational philosophies is if you are not growing you intentionally, whether it be personally or professionally, how the heck do you think your business is going to grow? And really to keep that continuous momentum going, you need to be growing. You need to be expanding your knowledge, expanding your leadership, and really getting intentional with your actions. And ultimately, as you said, what I bring to business owners is the opportunity to really first get clear on where do you want your business to grow to? What is that vision you have? You know, a lot of people will say, what's your vision 3, 5, 10 years out? And I do believe that's important. However, I pull it in a little bit more and start with where do you want to be 1 year from today in your life in general? Because I want to make sure that we're building a successful business that's really going to support your overall life vision. And then we just back into really creating that strategic plan that's going to get you from where you are today to where you want to be. Mm-hmm. And thinking about all the activities that need to be taking place. You know, do you need to be expanding your staff and your team to be able to deliver more service? Do you need to be hiring sales members who are going to go out there and really bring in new business? And what I find in small business, well, in any business, but I think it's really crucial in small business that so often we get pulled into working in our business that we forget that we need to be the ones working on our business. And if we're not leading it, who is? And chances are when we leave it up to someone else to lead, it's definitely not going to be headed the direction we want it to head.
Yeah. Well, good point. Good point.
Awesome. We have a business anniversary. We share a business anniversary, it sounds like, because I'm about 3.5 years as well.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I think, February 1st, 2013.
You're a little bit ahead of me. I'm May 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are ahead of me. We only opened up basically January of 14, so just approaching 3 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
so
congratulations to all of us because we made it past that first 18-month hurdle when they say more than 50% of all small businesses close their doors. So we can celebrate that.
The next hurdle is 5 years.
Exactly.
I was just about to say that. You got to get to that 5-year mark, and then we're all smooth sailing.
Absolutely.
So Dana, you market that you this is on. I took this right from LinkedIn. You market that you help small business owners add multiple 6 figures in revenue. How do you do that?
It's really much of what I just laid out. You know, once we get clear on the vision and we put the strategic plan together, then I'm working with a client, typically at least 3 pre-scheduled calls a month where we're talking about, all right, what are the intentions for the next week? I highly encourage people to get rid of their to-do list that has 100 items and really get clear, invest that 5 or 10 minutes every night into planning what your top 3 or 4 intentions are the next day, so that you wake up very clear with what your top objectives are, and then you do your best to really stay focused on those objectives until they're completed. Obviously, we don't live in a black and white world. Things come up unexpectedly. We need to be flexible. However, we still have that roadmap of, as soon as we take care of putting out whatever fire just popped up, we're getting back to what we intended for the day. I'm a big proponent of time blocking when it comes to scheduling out your day, so that you're not 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes there. You're chunking out your client service delivery time. You're chunking out your sales time. I refer to it as your revenue generating activity. And as I've been mentored, you really need to be focused on a daily basis, not only on today's money, but you also need to be thinking about tomorrow's money. And you need to have both of those elements every day in your revenue generating activity. And, many people will try to throw in networking and some of their marketing into the revenue generating activity. And that's networking, that's marketing, that's not revenue generating activity. Revenue generating activity is when you are either on the phone or person to person, face to face with someone, whether it's in person or even through Skype and Zoom now, where you are literally asking questions, finding out what it is they need, and determining whether or not the product or service you offer is a match. And if it is, you're making an offer. That is a revenue generating activity. Is marketing important? Is networking important? Absolutely. It's just not your direct revenue generating activity. But it's Brian Tracy, I think, is the one who reported on a study years ago that said for every 1 minute that you invest in planning, you save 10 minutes in implementation and execution time. The analyst in me did the math, and if you're spending just 10 minutes a day planning your next day, you're saving yourself 90 minutes in execution and implementation time. You do that daily, it's 546 hours of implementation and execution time. Even if you only invested half of that back into the business and you took the other half and you put it into your family, into your own personal goals, where would your life be a year from now with just that one change, 10 minutes a day?
Good point.
That's awesome. I started doing the time blocking a few months ago, and it does really help. So I have blocks where there's one focus and that's it, nothing else, no interruptions. I mean, like you said, obviously there's the occasional emergency, but other than that, no interruptions, and it works great. But I do have to ask, people have to-do lists with hundreds of items on them? That's insane.
Well, I can only speak for myself and people I know, but certainly women, and if they're juggling kids in a family and a business, and I'm one of those people that if I had that long list and I did something that wasn't on the list, I would put it on the list just so I could cross it out and feel that much more accomplished.
The reverse to-do list. I got to try that.
Yeah. And that's, I may still have that long list. However, when I'm going into a day, I am taking just my top 3 or 4 priorities. So yes, some people do.
Wow.
I think we just got our success hack about the time savings by planning.
The 10 minutes? Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
It's huge. They add up. So I want to talk a little bit about, how you help business owners with systems. So what are some areas that you see businesses can improve on in their systems?
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes it's the bare minimum, the basics of are you utilizing a CRM, and, a client relationship management system? And there are more and more coming out on a daily basis. I think HubSpot is one that's completely free.
Yep, that's the one I use.
There's lessannoying.com that's $9.99 a month. So there's certainly options out there. And, when I started, I didn't know about Less Annoying. I don't even know HubSpot existed. I started with Excel, just throw every person I know and their contact information into Excel so that as I'm reaching out, I am keeping track of it somewhere. Obviously, you want a CRM because you can create reminders for yourself. If you're supposed to be following up with somebody the week of November 7th, I want to make sure that that's popping up on my calendar November 7th and that I'm not missing that follow-up opportunity. So sometimes it's as basic as that. I also have some clients who they've done fabulous. They've been in business for 10, 12 years, and they have a huge list of individuals they've served. What they hadn't done was to really cultivate who I believe are the hottest prospects. And your hottest prospects are your current clients and your former clients. And are you continuing to cultivate that relationship and really plant those seeds? Do you keep in touch with them? Are they familiar with any new products or services that you may have added since you had worked with them? And so it's putting the systems in place that you're reaching out, back out, that you're cross-selling, and that you're upselling to the other products and services you offer. I have insurance brokers as clients now doing that. I have attorneys doing that now. I have salon owners doing that. And it's, they're amazing. I had one client literally in 60 days, she doubled her monthly revenue. In 90 days, she tripled it.
Wow.
And it's totally sustainable and it's scalable. All with just getting much more intentional with her activity and with making sure that her time slots were booked for those that are truly consumer-based and selling to consumers with appointment slots. You miss an appointment, you have an appointment that goes unfilled, you never get that hour back. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that that's not happening on a regular basis.
That's true.
So do you feel that when you talk to business owners, is that an area where a lot of businesses are lacking, is systems?
Yes, and I think sometimes it's also they may even have a system and they're not quite sure how to utilize it to the best of its ability. And quite honest, I'll be totally transparent. Anybody who works with me knows that I am brutally transparent with my own life. I have Infusionsoft, the Mac Daddy of all CRMs and email correspondence. It can do everything. I'm probably not even using 10% of what it offers right now. And I also know that it's not in my business's best interest to get myself educated on that. I need to be hiring out to have somebody else handle that for me so that I can focus on the revenue generating activity and I can focus on leading the business. And I'd say that's probably one area that I help the business owners also. I'm a big proponent of focus in your area of strength. I think it used to be, at least when I was being mentored in corporate, it was you wanted to become jack of all trades so that you could be used wherever they need you. That would make you more valuable. When you're a small business owner, I think you focus on where your strengths are, where you excel, where you're most passionate and driven, and then you delegate and you outsource in the areas of your weakness. That's how you leverage yourself, and that's how you grow your business.
You stole my follow-up question. You already answered it.
What was that?
I was going to say, so no, I lost it. Wow.
Delegating?
No. Oh, that's what it was. So do you encourage businesses to hire out? So like if you need a bookkeeper, Linda, I hope you're hearing. If you need a bookkeeper or you're managing your own versus managing your own books, you're probably, first of all, you're probably doing it wrong. Secondly, you're forgetting things, I'm sure. Or, you go back 2 weeks later, oh my God, I forgot to invoice that client or something like that, So do you need to hire a bookkeeper or have a tax preparer or, things like that? And so you're encouraging, obviously you just said it. So you're encouraging businesses to do that because A, you can't be an expert in everything. You should be focusing on what you do. And B, it's also good practice. You're putting money back into the economy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And again, when I was in corporate, I've probably recruited, hired, and trained over 1,000 people during my tenure. And we were always looking, yes, for someone who could fill a specific job description, but we were also, the bottom bullet of every job description was other duties as assigned. So we were also looking for how flexible and adaptable would they be if we needed them to add on responsibilities. And so we would look to hire that one strong person who could handle everything we needed. As opposed to, and this was brilliant the first time I heard it from one of my mentors, was in small business, if you have 5 areas where you need support, and even if it's only 5 hours a week in those 5 areas, so you thought you should hire somebody at 25 hours a week, I was encouraged, no, you take those 5 areas and you hire someone whose specialty, whose expertise, whose passion is each of those 5 areas, and you hire 5 people, 1 for each area. Because the benefit there is if it's what they specialize in, what they like the most, what they're an expert in, they're actually going to be excited to do your work first. So they may have multiple clients they're serving, but if they get to do what they like with you, your work rises to the top. They do it first, they do it the quickest, and they get it back to you. And yes, you have to manage 5 people. However, you just got 5 people area of expertise working in your business. And that's a heck of a lot more valuable than hiring 1 person for 25 hours a week who may have one of those as their expertise and, well, they could figure out the other 4. That's not what you want to really bring your business forward.
That's awesome. Couldn't have said it better myself. I think you're still echoing me. I do want to remind you, so this is normally the spot in the show where we remind everybody about network and golf, and you want to sign up, you could go to Golf and Network. But like I said earlier, this is November, which means it's Movember, and you can see we're both already very hairy. That's right. So wait till the end of the month to see how we look. So please, I will put the link on growthsuccessradio.com right after this show. Go there, donate. It's for men's health. Like everything else, every little bit helps. All right, so growthsuccessradio.com. It'll be right there on the homepage once you get there. Right, Eugene?
Yes, absolutely. All right, so Dana, you also work with business owners on structure and strategy. So what are some of the things you see the business owners do maybe incorrect or lack that you generally help them out with when it comes to structure and strategy?
Great question. I think, the strategy by far, I believe the number one strategy to really bring to the forefront is that personal and professional development. It's the mindset work, because we can have the best systems. We can have the best structure. We can even have the best team members in place. But if our mindset is not as strong as it can be, if it's not forward thinking, if it's getting stuck in what went wrong and fearful of what could go wrong, our business will never become what we want it to. And so I really believe that the mindset is first and foremost one of the strategies to really dig into on that personal and professional development. And really keeping it sharp and getting yourself around like-minded individuals, joining masterminds, joining group programs. That is absolutely one of the top strategies I bring. And then, quite honestly, the second one is just to actually have a true plan that you are working on a daily and weekly basis. I know in corporate, we'd get together on a quarterly basis and we'd do our strategic plan. And then it'd be in a 3-ring binder on our shelf. Not that we weren't working it. However, chances are we may not actually have touched that binder again until we were prepping for the next quarterly meeting. And I want my clients to literally have that plan in front of them on a daily basis and have their vision, have their goals for the coming year in front of them on a daily basis, continually reminding them of their why, of what their goal is, where their sights are, so that they're staying inspired, they're staying motivated, they're staying very intentional with their activities. As far as structure, I think we've touched on some of that. Structure can be the time blocking. It can be, some of my business owners are adding staff or adding higher level staff. An attorney brought in another attorney into her law firm. And that brings the business to a whole new level. And it's a question of how often are you meeting with the staff one-on-one? How often are you meeting with your team as a team? Mm-hmm. And making sure that you stay consistent with that to really bring the leadership to the team and set the tone for both the team camaraderie and the leadership of where you're really heading your ship, directing your business.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are a couple of them. The time blocking we mentioned, the planning, that's all part of the structure. And it's also mapping out. I am a self-proclaimed spreadsheet geek. I love Excel. I love spreadsheets. I love numbers. I started college as an accounting major because I thought that was the direction I was going.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm able to bring that to business owners because I have found many business owners have an incredible vision for how they want to serve, but they don't necessarily know, they don't know numbers. They don't know what they should be tracking, and they don't know how to track it. And if they do track it, they're not quite sure what it all means. And so I have some particular reports that I will customize for them just to make sure someone is tracking it while we're working together. But my main objective is to get them or a team member to start tracking those numbers for them so that really is long-term sustainable, whether I'm in the picture or not.
It's awesome. And it sounds like a lot of work, but you're right. If you're focused on what you're supposed to be focused on, then things go much better.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of work, but none of it is like, it's interesting because none of the stuff is like brain surgery. It's just it's almost like common sense. It just, you need somebody like you sometimes to just tell you, like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And, these are things you're supposed to be thinking about.
Absolutely. I often say that I become another set of eyes and a sounding board to the operations and leadership of your business. It will always remain your business, but I'm that outside set of eyes and an outside perspective on your business and where you may have blinders, because the truth is we all have blinders.
Right.
One commitment I've made to myself and to my clients is that I will always be investing in my own mentors, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's in group programs. I will always be making that investment in myself and my business, because otherwise how could I stand in integrity, encouraging other people to invest in themselves and their business if I'm not? So that is one promise I make. It's not just to be in integrity, it's because I need it, because we all need it, because we all have blinders and things that we're not seeing, because we get into our own routine and our own groove. And sometimes that means we've lost focus of something that one little tweak could make all the difference. And I love what you said, Eugene. I saw a post, a friend of mine owns a gym in California, and he said, fitness is simple. No one said it would be easy. And I think the same is about business building. If you follow the basic steps, building a business is simple. It doesn't mean it's easy.
No, definitely.
We might get multiple success hacks out of this episode.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
This is actually a nice segue though. When does a business typically reach out to you? Like at what point are they in their process that they're like, oh crap, we need help?
It's so interesting because yes, it definitely can be that, oh crap, I need help. But it also can be just the, my business has been doing really well for a few years. And I literally a year and a half ago had a client, who's been a client for a year and a half, say this to me. He said, I'm interested in talking to you, but I might be different than the rest of your clients because my business is actually doing well. And I kind of chuckled. And he was smart enough and he said, but I know we can always be doing better, right? And the truth is, yeah, you can be making 300,000, 400,000, even $500,000, and you can be doing that for several years. I think the red flag is if you stay stagnant at whatever level you are for more than 1 year, it's a sign that you need a fresh set of eyes and something needs to change if you're going to grow. Yes, it's great to maintain, but if your vision is to grow, then something needs to change. And of course, the definition of insanity, we all know, but the truth is if we keep doing what we've always done, we'll simply get what we've always got. And if we want new results, we're going to have to either switch our mindset or switch our behaviors, one or the other, or both to get to that new level.
Great. My definition of insanity is Scott Gombar, but that's just me personally.
Keep it up.
I think there's also the individual. I have clients who are new. I won't say brand new. Most they might be hovering around the 50,000 mark, and they're ready to get to that six figures. I have others. One example I'm thinking of. He came to me 2 years ago, and he had just crossed 100,000. The next year, we took him to over 200,000. Wow. So it's someone who is ambitious and knows that they want to achieve greater results. And that they need somebody else to come in and help them on their path, on their journey.
That's great. So Dana, tell us a little bit more about serve more, earn more, and enjoy more. What do you mean by that?
Great question. And, that really came from, I spent almost 15 years as a fundraising consultant, working with 501c3 nonprofit organizations around the country and in London. So there's a big space in my heart for the nonprofit arena. And yet there's so much crossover, obviously, in the for-profit arena of how departments and businesses are structured and how they operate and how they're successful. And what's fundamental for me in my crossover, when you serve, you think of the nonprofit arena. But what I have found is when it comes to sales, if you are not thinking about how you serve someone, you're not thinking about the person you're serving. You're thinking about sales and what's in it for me. So the serve more is really about how can I get my products and services into more people's hands so that they are served, so that I can earn more, and that then I can also be enjoying more. And I think I'm jumping ahead, but quick story is in my 20s, I was all about climbing the corporate ladder. I was going to be the strong, independent female executive, the husband and kids, that was just going to happen. But I was out to really climb that ladder. Then in my 30s, I realized that, some things happened. 9/11 happened. I turned 30, and several months later, I was in a cardiologist's office with chest pains. And it had me thinking a lot about life and that maybe climbing the ladder wasn't what it was all about. I wanted to have a family also. And I say, thank God that I made it to my 40s, and I realized that it doesn't have to be an either or life. It can be an and life. I can have a very successful professional track, in this case, a business of my own, and I can have great success in my life outside of the office as well. So I think I probably took that on a little bit of a tangent and elaborated more than just the serve more, but it gives you a little background on what that's all about.
No, that was awesome. And it's funny that you say that, because I think we have, a good percentage of the businesses, if not all of them, that come on our show say the same thing. You have to give back. You have to serve. You have to help, whatever it may be. But I think that almost everybody that's come on the show, so that really tells you that it is a core part of your success, is being able to give back.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was, I think oftentimes people go into starting nonprofits because they have that heart to give. And I also believe you can make tons of money in your own business and give back that way also. That if you can be giving of your time, you can be giving of your finances.
Right.
There's different ways to give.
That is very true. So the next two questions are probably, you may actually answer them at the same time, so we'll see what happens. But so this is your sales pitch opportunity. Tell us, why should a business owner work with you?
Great question. The bottom line is, if you're looking to grow, I have a proven track record. I have businesses, as I've shared, who have doubled their revenue, tripled their revenue, added six figures. That in itself shows that the work that we do can be successful. What I would say is that you have to come to the table being prepared to work. And I don't mean to get exhausted. I mean to get intentional, to really blast through some of our obstacles. I believe oftentimes we are our biggest obstacle. And so it's also coming to the table ready to be held accountable. If you tell me that you want something, you tell me you're willing to do something in order to achieve that, I'm going to hold you accountable to that. And I think what does set me apart is that I am not, yes, I'm a business coach and consultant, and I will absolutely bring business strategy. 9 times out of 10, much of the strategies that we talk about can be crossed over into other areas of your life. And so not only do my clients achieve success in their business, they actually end up happier, more. I had a gentleman partner in a multi-million dollar, one of the largest construction firms here in Las Vegas, came to me saying he wanted more joy in his life. And that's exactly what he left with. For him, it wasn't as much about the business strategy as how do I bring more happiness and joy into my life and keep the business on the path that's going on. And so I think really, yes, if you want to grow your business, I will get you there. And it will not be at the expense of your life outside of your business. It will actually benefit that as well.
Eugene likes to work 20-hour days. I don't know why that.
Sometimes. So is it kind of safe to say that the way you work with your clients to help them achieve all their goals is really focusing on, a lot of it has to do with personal development for that client?
Yes, I would say it's personal and professional development for that client. I am definitely not cookie cutter, and my programs are customized to meet the client where they are in life and where they are in their business, and then taking a look at where they want to go and applying those personal and professional development strategies to help get them there.
Okay.
So Dana, we have Dr. Jeff in the chat room. He was a previous guest, but he joins us pretty much every week. He wants to know if he's a chiropractor, by the way. So he wants to know if you've ever been adjusted.
I have. I used to, unfortunately, suffer from a lot of migraines. So for a while there, I was getting adjusted often.
Say glad to hear. And that would be one of his selling points. He helps with migraines. I can guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That's from our favorite chiropractor, Dr. Jeff. Thank you. So, Dana, every week we do this fire round at the end of your interview. So your official interview is over, but we have this fire round, which is the unofficial interview. And, it tends to make people sweat and get nervous. A couple guys have thrown up.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad.
You tend to cry too.
Cry, yep. So, Eugene, you want to fire away?
All right. So Dana, LinkedIn or Facebook?
Both. I have about 12,000 connections on LinkedIn. I'm at about 4,000 on Facebook. I think Facebook is great for exposure and followers. It's on LinkedIn that I've actually had more success converting to clients.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. And look, Eugene, it's my turn this week. It's usually Eugene's phone that rings during the call. It's an international call on top of it. I usually turn it off, but I forgot this week. All right, so I'm asking this question.
Some networking groups.
Some
networking groups would be charging you $5 for that.
We should do a BNI.
Yeah, we're both in the same BNI, and I'm pretty sure we're approaching that.
There you go. I'm in Latip out here, so.
I noticed on reading your bio on your website that you've lived on the East Coast, you've lived in different parts of the country. So that's why I'm asking this question: summer or winter?
Summer.
Okay.
Summer. I love the sun, love the ocean.
Oh,
and I often ask myself, because I have been in the desert, Henderson, Nevada, for 16 years now. I don't know how the heck that happened, but at least I'm only about a 4-hour drive to the California coast.
There you go.
I prefer summer too.
Yeah, but we didn't ask you.
I know. I'm not important right now.
No.
Your biggest passion outside of your business?
That one's easy right now. I have a 5-year-old, so I love being mommy.
Awesome. I love being daddy sometimes.
Yeah, I'll say most of the time.
At 10 o'clock at night when the 2-year-old refuses to go to sleep, it's not much fun. But and finally, the best business advice you have ever received.
Wow, that is a good one. I would say it's just be real, be authentic, be transparent. And the truth is I didn't get all that nervous with the firing round, because the truth is if you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, well, first of all, if it's about me, I sure as heck hope I know the answer. But if I'm ever asked a question that I don't know the answer, I have no problem saying I don't know the answer, but let me do some research and I'll get back to you.
I love that response. And you're be real and be transparent. That's like my marketing plan for every business.
Awesome. Maybe we need to talk out offline.
We should. I think you initially contacted me to talk about something. So yeah, we should.
I believe so.
Yes. So Dana, thanks for coming on to Grow Success Radio episode 47. This will most likely be uploaded today to everywhere. So, but in the meantime, how can viewers and or listeners reach you? So where do they go?
Absolutely. My website, of course, www.danaearhart.com. So that's DANAEARHART.com. You can find me, of course, on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. You will see when you visit my website that I do offer complimentary growth strategy calls. So if anyone listening is interested in jumping on the phone, 45 minutes, you and I strategizing on your business, as well as me sharing what it would look like to work with me, I would be honored to do that for any of your listeners.
That's awesome. And so I will include the website link in the show notes. Again, that should be posted later today. Next week we have Eugene. You remember Sandra Long? Well, Sandra Long.
Yes, I remember.
She has a book out now, so she's going to come on to talk about LinkedIn for personal branding. I got an autographed copy, Eugene. Sorry.
It's mine.
I don't know. You didn't order it. There's homework though. I have to read it before next week's episode. So she'll be on with us next week to talk about LinkedIn for personal branding. That's 11 a.m. Eastern, November 11th, Veterans Day. Make sure you go out and vote on Tuesday, everybody, because this election is important. All right. And be safe. Have a great weekend. You guys have any closing thoughts? Eugene?
Thank you very much for having me on. This has been great, and I look forward to continuing the relationship offline.
Awesome. Thank you, Dana. Eugene?
Just be safe and go out and vote, just like you said. That's the most important thing right now, is to go out and vote.
Oh,
and if you and register, make sure you're registered. In Connecticut, I think you can register online. It's very easy.
Yeah, but I think it's too late now.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. And by the way, congratulations to the Cubs. That was awesome.
Yes.
108 years over. Theo Epstein, genius.
The Cubs I used to live outside Chicago. They were the first baseball team, true Major League Baseball team I ever saw. So it was awesome to see them win.
It was. Yes. I stayed up for that whole thing too, and I regretted it the next day, but that's all right.